Hello everyone, welcome back. In the last video, I showed how I use AI to fix two problems we ran into after installing the Power Pages templates. These weren't typical issues, and while the AI solutions weren't perfect, they gave us a good look at how tools like ChatGPT can really help, especially with HTML, Liquid, and JavaScript. But when it comes to Power Platform's data model and specific rules, the AI's answers might be a bit weaker. That's not a surprise. There's just way more online training data for HTML and JavaScript than for low-code platforms. Plus, Liquid in Power Pages is a special version, so we always need to double-check the output against the Power Pages developer docs. Let's keep exploring. Today, we are kicking off a real customization using Power Pages built-in data model and logic. That's where low-code tools like Power Pages should shine. The first thing we're adding is tuition, which is actually missing from the standard template, but something our website really needs. If you want the full business background, check out the first two videos in this series. Here's what we want to do. 1. Add tuition and related fees to each course. 2. Calculate the total amount a parent owes for their kids or their own registration. 3. Show that total as a due amount on the website. There's also a great chance to run an AI experiment. In today's case, the changes are tied to adding new data and also updating the user interface. That means it's a great test to see how well AI can help with both data modeling and UI adjustments in a low-code environment. Here's the plan. Vertically, I will ask the AI the same task at three different levels. High level, just a business requirement. Medium level, where fields and logic are involved. Detailed, step-by-step dev plan. Horizontally, I will run the same problem on ChatGPT, Copilot, and LLaMA to compare how each model performs. At the end, I will show a results matrix to compare them side by side. Let me start with the high-level review of ChatGPT. ChatGPT gave a good high-level response for the course table by suggesting 3 currency fields and 1 calculated field. It also recommended adding a currency field to the registration table, something I didn't explicitly ask for. However, I disagree with its suggestion to use a calculated field there. A calculated field won't capture the tuition at the time of registration, which can cause issues if price change later or discounts apply. A regular field is better for storing actual values. For the third point, ChatGPT proposed adding a due amount field to the contact table, linking it to the parent. It offered two options, a roll-up field and a regular field updated by Power Automate. It correctly noted that roll-ups only update once an hour, which is too slow. Parents won't want to wait an hour after registering to see their balance. I was pleasantly surprised that ChatGPT mentioned access permissions for the contact table. Even though it's not needed for our website, it was a friendly reminder. While not perfect, its data model suggestions were strong overall. ChatGPT suggested displaying the due amount using either the entity's built-in UI or a web page template with Liquid. But its simple Liquid code had issues. The parameter objects were defined or built in, and it used unsupported tags like where, which don't work in Power Pages. I retested to confirm this hadn't changed. It hadn't. It also didn't cover how the added field would be import or output in the UI. This part feel lacking and a bit disappointing. ChatGPT gave a basic outline of a Power Automate flow to some registration fees and updated due amount. That's helpful, but it lacked detail, especially for users unfamiliar with Power Platform. So I'd rate this section as disappointing. With a more detailed prompt, ChatGPT again started strong with the data model, listing all the new fields accurately. It recommended using Power Automate to update the due amount after course registration or cancellation with a text description of each step. However, it still missed the UI imports for tuition and fees. For output, it described using a web template, which I had used in the past to show reminders on multiple pages, but I still saw unsupported liquid text like user.contact and currency. This keeps happening when I don't have history enabled. Overall, the UI output was average, and the import part was disappointing. The business logic looked solid, with steps for both registering and canceling a course. When I submit my own debt plan, ChatGPT performed very well. I had reviewed the existing code in the template. It was easy to follow, with each page handling a major function. Snippets and includes were clearly referenced. ChatGPT correctly identified where to add the new fields in 3 tables and wrote a clean liquid code referencing the snippets. Its HTML and JavaScript suggestions were excellent. Even someone unfamiliar with Power Pages could implement without issue. One recurring problem, ChatGPT still used the unsupported currency keyword in Power Page Liquid. I will replace it with $2. Once history is on and I corrected a few times, ChatGPT stops suggesting currency. The fetch XML used in the due amount template was accurate, and using result.entities0 to get the first result was spot on. Next, I tried using Copilot, starting with a high-level prompt. After installing the Power Platform Tools extension in Visual Studio Code, I saw the Copilot in Power Pages option. When I used it, I found that it only generated HTML and JavaScript code for Power Pages. The features were basic, but the code followed the Power Pages standards very well, including syntax, object references, and API calls. Then I switched to regular Copilot. This version focused more on Power Pages tools and configuration steps, but it didn't provide any code. It's an interesting split. One Copilot helps with setup and process, while the other handles actual code writing. And to get a full picture, you will likely need to use both of them. Lastly, I tested Meta AI's LLaMA. No matter how detailed the prompt, high level, medium, or very specific, it only returned the description of the process without any code. I don't think that approach is helpful for building a real low-code solution. Overall, the code generated by ChatGPT was strong across all 4 areas I assessed for small customization or add-on. It confirmed what I expected. When you provide a detailed data plan and some code for low-code specific environment, AI tools like ChatGPT can greatly improve productivity in low-code development, especially with Power Pages using HTML, JavaScript, and Liquid. Copilot still needs targeted improvements to support this kind of vibe coding experience we are aiming for. That said, its accuracy in following Power Pages syntax is impressive. As for LLaMA, it clearly needs more training data related to Power Pages, but since it's open source, then actually part of the peer, we can build and train models for specific use cases ourselves. In the next video, we will move beyond the small changes and the customizations we just did today. We'll start creating entirely new pages and features. Will AI still perform well? Let's find out together in the next video.